All right, now it's time for us to step back in time, or enter our proverbial time machine, and check out WWE Smackdown from February 22nd, 2001, exactly 3 days after the Raw we reviewed last week. If you haven't checked that out, make sure you check out episode 38. We checked up. We basically it was a good time. We had some jokes out there, some highlights, and some stuff. You guys can check it out as well. But yeah, this was basically a interesting type of ordeal. This was basically where Triple H attempted to get even with your boy old Stone Cold. Stone Cold, from what went down, where he Stone Cold stunnered Stephanie McMahon on Raw. That was pretty much replayed the entire night during this episode that we talked about. We get the classic WWF intro before we cut right into the SmackDown intro, which got me hyped. The
See how that theme is on there.
like I don't know what it was just a bunch of just noise.
Heavy metal.
But if you're baked like I'm always when I'm watching these shows, it doesn't matter. You gonna bop regardless. So that was that. We're 72 hours away from No Way Out live in Kansas City with Michael Cole and Jerry the King Lawler on commentary. They hype up the 6-man tag team no disqualification main event. It'll be The Rock and the Brothers of Destruction versus Kurt Angle, WWF champion Edge, and Christian, with JR conducting an interview with Stone Cold Steve Austin and Triple H just days before their 3 stages of hell match. We kick off the show with WWF champion Kurt Angle just days before defending his WWF title against The Rock. Full tracksuit, gold medal, the most 2001 white boy shoe game I've ever seen. So that was that. And so much more in that situation. Yeah, this was the most 2001. Like, I don't even know what brand shoes was, but I'm like, the entire fit itself was just atrocious. The most ugliest suit I've ever seen before. But Kurt sends a shout out to his tag team partners later on, Edge and Christian, before doing a 5-second pose with the WWF Championship. The crowd starts chanting, "Angle sucks. Angle sucks. Angle sucks." And which Kurt's saying, "Now I know that's not what you're thinking." "Oh no, I'm pretty sure that's what they're thinking about, my boy. I'm just saying." He said, "I don't know what I know what you're thinking. Duh. Grab your camera, honey. That damn picture is gonna be worth something. The last time Kurt Angle stands in the ring on SmackDown, the WWF champion, that's gonna be a genuine collector's item." He says, "Sorry to disappoint you, but you're just gonna have to earn your money some other way," and he will beat the odds by beating The Rock, keeping his WWF championship. Kurt Angle calls The Rock Casey Kasem with this counting down stuff before saying "TikTok my ass." I'm like, pause. Kurt Angle then talks about the WWF, the music volume 5, and Kurt mentions who's on the cover, The Rock, and talks about his song Pie featuring Slick Rick before we hear it. And I didn't hate the Pie song.
I didn't either.
I was like, this man's talking Chinese and stuff on it. I'm like, I don't think I've ever listened to WWF the music volume 5. I think I need to check it out. If it's on Spotify, I need to check it out.
Especially I done heard that. I was like, dang, I might have to. When I was watching it last night, I was like, you know what? I might have to listen to this whole entire soundtrack.
You know what I'm saying? I'm like, this don't sound.
I like the Pie song already.
Now, this ain't too shabby right now. I'm like, hold on. Kurt says, "What the freaking heck was that?" And I'm like, bro, you are white. You are white as fuck. Oh my god. Kurt says there's actually people who enjoy that, and that's the man you want to see as the next WWF champion. And then he goes on to insult a baseball Hall of Famer. Did you catch the name? I didn't really catch it. It was some local Hall of Famer, Cheap Heat. Before Kurt says the song is a disgrace. Kurt then alludes to Rock not talking about pie on that song, but well, he was basically talking about pussy. So
Right.
Um,
I was like, y'all don't get it.
like he was talking about pussy. That's
Come on, it's a metaphor.
pie, poontang pie. Like there's no brand of poontang at all. Nowhere is poontang exists. Like I should
Come
know. I
on.
should know. 10-year-old me was Googling what is poontang. What is poontang? I was searching for all types of brands of poontang pie. I was searching. All I saw was apple pie, peach pie, what you call it? Pecan pie, pumpkin pie. That shit is garbage. I've seen all types of pie, but I still ain't to my life seen poontang pie until I was old enough. And then I saw this girl, and I was like, oh, that's what poontang is. So that's what I'm saying. You gotta. You got it's basically you I it's yeah, if
Oh,
you ever see me, I want to eat some pie, I want to eat some pie. He just asking for some pussy. That's all. He wants some pussy. He wants some genuine pussy. That's all I'm saying. That's all he wants. Like
man.
there's nothing else to allude to in that situation. Kurt then shows highlights of him beating up The Rock using his song Metal, and the crowd started chanting for Rocky, Rocky, Rocky. Kurt played the song again. The crowd started chanting "You suck" along with the beat, and I was like, I was wondering if they started this trend and not Toronto in 2002 because they was singing "You suck." So I'm pretty sure this is when the "You suck"
Already done started.
it kind of started. Like it didn't catch on with a lot of cities until maybe 2002, but this is when I'm pretty sure we heard it for the first time here. Kurt then says time for talk is over, and he's letting his actions speak for him, and says after tonight and at No Way Out, he'll be singing a different tune. The I just got my Brahma Bull ass beat blues. And that great one is true. Before he does his own, if you smell what the champ is cooking before walking away. And then we see Stone Cold. I enjoyed that entire promo. Like it was basically to get you to hate this man
Mm-hmm.
before the main event as well as No Way Out. We then see Stone Cold show up to the arena. It's about to get good because that man, whenever he shows up, you already know business is about to pick up. Then backstage, we see a random limo pull up, and then there's random horses in the background. And my eyes start getting confused because I'm like, what am I watching again? Then they cut to Stone Cold getting coffee before showing Stephanie get stunned by Austin on Raw. After that, we see Stephanie and Triple H in the back with Stephanie still selling the stunner from Monday, saying she can't believe Austin did that to her. I can. You slapped him.
Hello. Like, what you think was gonna happen?
That's all I'm saying. Before Triple H says he will pay for that guarantee, Stephanie reiterates that he can't lose his cool during that face-to-face later on. He can't risk that 6-month suspension. Triple H says he don't know what he'll do when he gets there. He don't know what will happen, but he says when he get out there, but he can promise that if he does lose it and get suspended for 6 months, he won't just take out Austin for over a year. He'll take him out for good. Next up, we get Jeff Hardy accompanied to the ring by Lita for competition, and then we get a recap of the Dean Malenko versus Lita matchup and the post-match celebration kiss between her and Matt. Awkward. Jeff Hardy's opponent is none other than the bad man Rikishi. I'm a bad man. You're a bad man. That's on the WWF Music, the Volume 5. Volume 5. I don't know why I just said it like that. Volume 5 is on WWF The Music Volume 5. I don't know if you saw that report that Rikishi's talking about he should join the bloodline in modern times.
Yeah, I did see that.
If he decides to join the bloodline, he definitely should bring this song back.
I surely did see that. I was like,
Nah,
okay.
he can stay away because bro, your son out there talking about why you gotta do me like that in 2020. You ain't do nothing. Your son out there getting choked out in Hell in a Cell.
Like you stepped in. So you had plenty of chances to step in. And the fact that you did not step in and just let this man get beat up says a lot about you.
So it's like, what are you talking about?
Apparently we know whose side you on. Cause you just gonna let that ride. You don't care.
Nah. You can stay. You can stay.
You just gonna let Big Oos like dog him out, huh? That's what we doing?
You can stay home.
Like, you don't care.
Stay your ass home.
He like I did my part.
Nah,
Like,
stay
this
your
ain't
ass
my
home.
like,
Stay home. Nah, you gonna
figure it out.
you gonna let my ass get beat this time? Stay your ass home. Goodbye. The match itself was basically a big man versus little man TV match in the beginning, with Rikishi maintaining control, with Jeff trying to fight back often, but is instantly stopped by Rikishi. Jeff tried to go for the whisper in the wind, but Rikishi said, "Get that shit out of here." He literally swatted him, and he landed back first. And speaking of get that out of here, we get another close up of Rikishi's ass for some reason, unprovoked, before he took out Jeff with a super kick and leg drop. These cameramen are obsessed with this man's ass. I'm sorry. Like, I'm glad. Like,
They are.
like do I have to see this man's cheeks every episode? Damn, made me not want to review Retro the Attitude Era, because all I saw was this man's ass. Shit.
Dang, man.
Damn.
Just can't catch a break. He just
Damn.
can't catch a break.
Rikishi took out Jeff with a super kick and leg drop before going for the banzai drop to pick up the win. This was pretty much a one-sided match. Rikishi starts walking away before coming back and teases to attack Jeff some more, but then Lita heads to the top rope for some reason on the opposite side of the ring. Rikishi over here, you over there. And Rikishi said, "Not today," and just shook the rope and caused her to fall. Before Rikishi, he didn't tease, he didn't give her a warning. He just shoved his whole ass cheeks all up in Lita's face. So he just went for the kill. Like, no warning. We thought we had it bad with him. So on the close up, he just shoved his ass cheeks up this woman's face unprovoked, but for no reason. He just boy.
Don't
Do
care,
you get Rikishi? Do you get a hard on for shoving your ass up people's faces?
I mean, don't be caring.
That man just said boom, like he ain't. I'm pretty sure he farted a few times. You never know. Matt, obviously, after he literally would not let the snake face go, so Matt came out to fight off Rikishi, and they checked on Jeff, and that was the end of this segment. We cut back to the limo again. There's a barn show going on, apparently. After the break, we see William Regal and Trish Stratus talking before Kurt Angle walks up and ends their managerial relationship from the Royal Rumble, or around the time of the Royal Rumble, before William Regal says, "Well, that's splendid," because she can accompany him to the ring on a full-time basis starting tonight with going against that miserable toe rag test. But Trish says she has another commitment to attend to. And okay. We then get a recap of the setup of Edge and Christian committed on Monday involving the Brothers of Destruction and Dudley Boys. And then we are taken to the back with the Dudley Boys are interviewed by Kevin Kelly next, with Bubba Ray hyping up the fact that the Triple Threat Tag Team match will be a tables match on Sunday, and basically says that the other teams are screwed. Bubba is a pretty good promo here. I enjoyed it. I like the way he hyped stuff up back in the day. We then cut to back to JR getting interviewed by Jonathan Coachman about his upcoming interview with Stone Cold and Triple H later, with JR having doubts that the two can keep it together, because if they break or the zero tolerance, then the whole match is done. We then see Trish Stratus walk up to the limo and open her jacket, showing her boobs, and she talks to someone all flirtatious before telling them to move over, and they basically about to do the devil's tango. We then get a "do not try this at home" promo that everybody absolutely ignored, because I know I did. The many times I whooped my cousin's asses.
Man.
We then cut back to the limo, and the windows are now fogged up, and we hear some heavy moaning. I had to turn it over, like, because they was like whisper. They were like, "Shh, shh, what's that? What's that?" And I turned it over, like, "Oh, she's actually moaning." Okay. Trish was getting her back. Trish was getting her back broke like a wishbone. So, yeah, all power to you, sister. Next up, we see the arrival of WWF Hardcore Champion Raven with his shopping cart to scout the winner of this next match, who will face Raven for the title at No Way Out. Out first is none other than Crash, who will face Perry Saturn, accompanied by Terry, who was cold. Nips. With King wishing to get hardcore with Terry. All right, man. The match starts with Perry and Crash. I didn't know what type of match it was, and I had to Google on Wikipedia. It was dubbed the. Did I pull it up? Let me see. Did I pull it up? Yeah, it was dubbed the Chaos Hardcore match. It was basically, I guess it was basically a glorified championship challenge match or championship scramble match or some shit. But yeah, it was basically it was a lot going on. We had K Quick, Big Show, Crash Holly, Hardcore Holly. Who else was in this match? Yeah, Parrots, Steve Blackman, all these other people. So it was pretty much a weapons field type of gauntlet match. Commentary didn't clarify, so I was literally confused until I looked it up after watching the show. Whoever won, but I just knew whoever won would face Raven. Raven then randomly said Carmen Electra is wearing a ninja suit that's been helping him win, but said, nah, not really. Okay. The match was all over the place, like I said, with weapon use before Big Show hit a chokeslam on Kate Quick to pick up the win and will face Raven for the hardcore title at No Way Out. Raven then jumped him with this big ass stop sign, like it's literally bigger than him. Like it was literally comedic for no reason. But that didn't work before Big Show hit the final cut on Raven to send a message. I'm surprised he didn't just pin him right here. Like it was 24/7 rules, but I guess they had a pay-per-view to sell, so I get it, I guess. We get the final hype before the in-ring interview between Stone Cold and Triple H, with Stephanie pleading with Triple H to not touch Austin. And Triple H says he can't make any promises before storming out.
Yeah, she was like, don't touch Austin.
No, please don't touch him.
Please don't touch Austin. I'm like, girl, please, that's going to happen. He going to get touched.
WWF Rewind presented by WWF Smackdown Know Your Role. I haven't played that game in a minute. It still sucked. So there's that. So, it was a place.
I was just gonna say, like, did I even get it? Do I even remember playing that game? I probably did. I probably did play it.
It was on. I think it was on PlayStation 1 or something like that. So it was all right. It wasn't. It's like if you compare it to modern times, it sucks. But if you are for the time, it was good. The rewind was basically showing Stone Cold stunning Stephanie McMahon again. I mean, it gets me hyped every time, but yeah. Next up, we get old Boomer Sooners. Jim Ross, he makes his way out to the ring for the interview before hyping up the 3 stages of hell. First fall will be a single straight up fight match, a wrestling match. Second fall will be a street fight, and in the case that it goes all the way, third and final fall will be a steel cage match. Jim Ross then proceeds to hype up the 2 out of 3 falls match by breaking down each fall before showing a recap of what led to this match, including Stone Cold Steve Austin getting ran down. Their match at Survivor Series ending with Triple H getting dropped off a forklift saying, holy shit. Triple H costing Stone Cold out of the WWF title against Kurt Angle, or screwing him out of the WWF title on Raw. Stone Cold costing Triple H the title at the Royal Rumble. Stone Cold winning the Royal Rumble, then them signing the contract, and then obviously Stone Cold, they signed the contract for No Way Out, including the no contact rule. Stone Cold getting attacked from behind by Triple H before signing the contract himself. So he basically got one lick off before he couldn't touch him again. And then obviously Stone Cold stunning Stephanie McMahon. I love this package. Like it is obviously not up to standard what they do now or what we do now as far as production wise, but I enjoyed the package for what it was. Like it wasn't horrible. JR introduces Stone Cold Steve Austin, but Triple H walks out first instead and does his full entrance with the spit and all that stuff before taking the mic from Jim Ross. And then Triple H proceeds to reiterate what JR says about the match and then says Stone Cold will have no choice but to respect him and fear him after No Way Out because he will demand it. Triple H says in the first fall, he will break his spirit. In the second fall, he will break his bones, like JR said. Triple H says, if you think he will risk it all to beat Stone Cold's ass in the middle of the ring, and he says that everybody who thinks that are wrong. He's the cerebral assassin, as JR likes to call him, and he's a thinking man. And then addresses Stone Cold stunning his wife and says, while he was pissed off to start with, lighting fuel and the gas, it's not going to make him lose control or get him suspended for 6 months, but he will have an answer to that assault before hitting a pedigree on Jim Ross, before Stone Cold runs out full hoochie daddy shorts, bike and gold chain, running out to try to make the save. But Stone Cold can't touch the game until Sunday. This was basically, like I said, a response to Austin stunning Stephanie McMahon, playing on their close friendship. If Monday didn't get you hyped for Sunday, this did. I enjoyed this entire segment. Like it didn't overstay its welcome. It was straight to the point. Triple H responded to Stone Cold's assault in kind. I enjoyed it.
It was really, really good.
After the break and hyping up of WWF New York, we get a recap of what just went down before they proceed to hype up No Way Out, including the Fatal 4-Way match for the Intercontinental Championship, Jericho versus X-Pac versus Eddie Guerrero versus Benoit. After Chris's comments on Raw, Vince McMahon makes a tag team match for this evening. Chris Jericho teaming with X-Pac to take on Eddie Guerrero and Crispin. Benoit and Jericho started off the match for their respective teams. This was basically a can they coexist type beat. As the match progressed, I started rolling up one. Like, this is a legit sidebar. I wrote this down. I started rolling up a joint. So, like, yeah. The ending of the match came about when X-Pac kicked his own partner in the face before Benoit locked in the crossface, forcing Jericho to tap out and pick up the win for their team. Benoit didn't let go before Eddie started brawling with X-Pac a bit before Just Incredible came out and hit a low blow on Eddie so that X-Pac can hit an X Factor on Guerrero before both men hit a super kick or a double super kick on Benoit. They took Benoit a super kick party before it was a thing, with both men standing tall. Next up, we get WWF Women's Champion Ivory and the Cat heading to the ring next for a match. Cat wore this big ass shirt and ripped it open and revealed her gear. And I'm like, all right, white woman.
All right.
But that match is next. Back from the break, we see Edge and Christian complaining about facing Undertaker and Kane again, refusing to take the last ride again. The thing hurt. It hurt Sickles or something like that. However, Edge said they were just so Edge and Christian here, it wasn't even funny. And then Christian trying to understand how Kane is back up after a concerto. Kurt says, what happened to the cocky, brash guys he knows and loves before hyping them up, saying they got this before they leave the locker room. Next up, the women's title is on the line for some reason as the leader of Right to Nudity, the Cat, comes out who challenges RTC's Ivory before they hype up King versus Steven Richards, where if King wins, the Cat gets naked. But if Steven wins, the Cat has to join the RTC. I think this story didn't go anywhere after the Raw after No Way Out because I think the Cat legit quit, and her then husband King quit with her too. So the whole storyline was pretty much dropped, and I think that after a few appearances, the Cat just retired from the business. So there's that.
Oh wow.
The match starts and then the Cat does a suplex and a monkey flip, and that caught me completely off guard. I'm like, this ain't bad. Ivory took control of the match, basically playing the wrestling equivalent of Miss Trunchbull. No more nudity. And I'm like, she played that real well. Ivory got distracted, taunting to King before the Cat ripped Ivory's shirt off for some reason. And then the RTC siren went off with Godfather or Goodfather, Bull Buchanan, and Val Venus walking down to the ring. King tries to grab a chair, but was kicked out of nowhere by Steven Richards with the Stevie kick before each member hit their respective finishers on King and made the Cat watch every bit. I guess this match was thrown out. I didn't hear a bell, so there's that. The assault ends with a DDT on a chair by Steven Richards, the Cat consoling King while crying. Nice way to get the heat on the heels before Sunday. Back from the break, we get a recap about what just happened, and then we get Taz coming out, full entrance to join Cole on commentary, taking advantage and seizing the opportunity to do commentary. Next up, we get, as William Regal makes his way to the ring, we get a WWF Overdrive recap of the week of Test winning the WWF European title last month on Raw. Test makes his way out to defend the title. Regal jumps Test to start the match, with Test quickly regaining control. Regal eventually regains control himself until Al Snow walks out and he's still campaigning to become the WWF commissioner. They basically spend the duration of this match cutting between the match and Al Snow. This match was pretty good, even though you can barely see it at times because they kept cutting back and forth. Regal, for some reason, goes to grab Al Snow when the ref was distracted, and Snow hit Regal with head, basically, which leads to Test hitting the big boot on Regal to retain the European title. Decent match. You can tell that they didn't really care too much about it because they were still building the Al Snow becoming commissioner gimmick, which eventually I believe is awarded to William Regal instead. So he basically wasted his time. We then cut back to Stephanie McMahon watching the limo because apparently Trish is still in there getting her back blown out. With Trish shouting, "I'll show you," with Stephanie, shouting, "I'll show you who daddy's little girl is," Trish, before storming out. I'm like, I don't think that came out right. What do you mean by that?
All right.
We then get the Dudley Boys storming out with a table in hand before leaning the table against the apron, with Bubba Ray spelling out "No Way Out" in paint, basically sending a message to Undertaker, Kane, and Edge and Christian. They then cut to Stephanie McMahon storming up to the limo in the back, demanding Trish to come out. But Trish wasn't in the limo. She wasn't getting her back blown out. She was faking it the entire time as she jumped Stephanie from behind. Trish set her up. She wasn't getting her she wasn't getting her back blown out. She was just faking it. I guess she had.
Man, she messed her up, bro.
She tossed her in a stack of hay before shoving her face in horse shit. Literal horse shit. It was literally shit.
It was bad.
And then covering her in brown slop. Then that whole thing was gross. Like the stuff that Stephanie went through.
Man. I was like, so you're not going to address that maybe you are the problem? Like, you don't have to, girl.
No, I ain't talking about that. I'm talking about.
Ain't no way.
I ain't talking about that. I'm talking about the stuff she agreed to do back then. I'm not talking about storyline wise. I'm talking about in general. Like, I would have said no.
Girl, please.
After all that, we then cut to the back with Kurt Angle, Edge, and Christian, and then The Rock and the Brothers of Destruction as the final hype for the main event. We get obviously we get a recap of what just happened, and like my comment stands. Stephanie, you're better than me because I wouldn't agree to do none of that shit. The WWF Slam of the Week presented by Wider Results Muscle Builder. They show a recap of what Kurt Angle did to The Rock a week prior on SmackDown with the ankle lock after their respective match. It's time for our main event of the evening. This show went by quick because I believe it was on network television, so I believe the show was a little shorter. It's a 6-man tag team match. Out first is WWF champion Kurt Angle, Edge, and Christian. And after acknowledging the tables, keep rolling, 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 rolling. Keep rolling, 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 rolling. Undertaker and Kane make their way out to the ring. Undertaker sees the table and pushes that shit to the side. He's like, man, get that shit out of here. Brushing it off before The Rock makes his way to the ring, joining the festivities. Undertaker wants to start the match, and Edge and Christian don't want to start with him. They're like, nah, you do it. Nah, you do it. Nah, you do it. So they tag Kurt and Undertaker.
And what y'all doing?
They're like, nah. They're like, nah. They just tag. They just went ahead and tagged Kurt, and Undertaker starts going in on the champion. This was pretty much a standard 6-man tag team match at this point, with the bigger men maintaining control throughout the match until The Rock makes the tag. And dares Kurt to bring it, but he doesn't. And as Rock goes for the rock bottom, Kurt slips in and sneak up on him and attacks him. And at this point, The Rock will be on the defense for this entire duration of the match. And after the heels dominated Rock, Kurt made the tag again, and Rock fought back before taking out the champion. Edge and Christian are taken out by Undertaker and Kane with choke slams and brawling all over the place. And all hell breaks loose until the Dudley Boys run out. And for a moment, I forgot it was a tag team match. I was like, is this going to be a DQ? But then I was like, oh, yeah, Taz pointed it out. So I'm like, oh, yeah, shit, this is DQ. So they're not going to get DQ. They attacked Edge and Christian. The Dudleys set up the 3D through the table until Undertaker pulls Christian out of the ring, and the Dudleys double team Undertaker, and all hell continues to break loose. Like, it was literally brawling all over the place. The camera cuts galore. Kurt Angle and The Rock are brawling a bit until Rock locks in the ugliest sharpshooter I've ever seen on my life on Kurt, forcing him to tap until Edge broke it up because the referee was outside dealing with people, so he didn't see the tap. And Rock attacked Edge, sending him to the floor. And that opening allowed Kurt to hit the Olympic slam on Rock through the table that was set up in the ring. And that was enough for Kurt to pin The Rock and pick up the win for their team. And that was your 6-man tag. But Kurt wasn't done. He's like, but wait. There's more. then he went ahead and locked in the ankle lock on Rock, forcing Rock to reluctantly tap out with the little rubber that be on tables around this man's neck. The visual was sick. Will that be the case this Sunday at No Way Out? Spoiler alert. No. The Rock won, and that is how this show ends, with Kurt having Rock in the ankle lock, and that is SmackDown. Overall, I enjoyed the show. Like, it was most of the part I was rolling the blunt, but it was an enjoyable show. Like, nothing made me regret picking this one. And yeah, I enjoyed SmackDown, like the stuff that Stephanie went through, but I don't get it. I don't get it at all. What's it called? The highlight of the show was basically the Triple H and Stone Cold segment. That was a final build. I believe Triple H won that 3 Stages of Hell match. So that was a barn burner match that a lot of people, they still talk about to this day. I believe Triple H and Shawn Michaels is up there with one of the best 3 Stages of Hell. But I think Triple H and Randy Orton did one in 2009. I don't think they've really done that ever since. Like, they need to run that back. There were 3 matches in one, best 2 out of 3 falls. They need to bring that back. I don't even care if it's in AEW. Just bring it back.
Brock Lesnar on the beast. Eat, sleep, flex, and repeat. Whole new swag with a price on the tag. Coming live from the west to the east. Better recognize on the mouthpiece. See the power level gotta increase. Bringing content on a day